Hey, Steve Basic Architect. Yes, we are out at our Moonshiner's Dream project. I thought maybe let's jump around and we'll talk about a whole bunch of little details on the project, including the ghosts that are here that keep wanting to close this door on me. So anyways, stay tuned. We're talking details and more details. All right, so we moved away from the building because I wanted to show you a couple things. You can see there's the lower roof, and you can see that's the standing seam metal roof. And then notice how it tucks nice and neatly up underneath that fascia board. And then we have the lower roof, and then obviously the clear story roof above that. And we chose to change materials there just to give us kind of a different look on the lower roof and that upper roof. So on the upper roof, it's a synthetic slate product by Edco. Down below, we have our standing seam metal roof. And you can see that fascia because, again, that's where that metal roof wants to have the ability to tear away from the main structure of the house. So that's what it looks like from the outside. All right, how about an 80-foot clear story light monitor that goes down the center of your house? Yeah, we probably have close to about, I would guess, about 55 feet, 54 feet of glass on each side. And it's an 80-foot light monitor, triple glazed. It's sheathed in a protected poplar and beautiful wood finish. Dayton and his crew did a beautiful job. Looks great. Who wouldn't want that in the middle of their house? All right, so we stepped inside. Notice 4 pipes sticking out of the ground, and we have a couple at the head wall there, and they have the yellow caps on there. You're probably wondering, okay, why do we have a bunch of pipes here? There's certainly no toilets in the middle of the living room, but these will get cut back. These are pre-planned outlet locations. So because this is a slab on grade, you have to pre-plan, run the conduits, run the wires, and get them there. Or you can just run the conduit. You can pull the wire later, but you need access to inside the floor and underside of the floor to get those outlets in here. So yes, pre-planning the outlets for the living space. All right, so you might have heard me talk about putting TVs over fireplaces. There's a lot written on it. It's not really ergonomically correct. But recently, like 3 different places, they have this TV mounting system. I forget, it's called mantle mount. And what it is it allows the TV to come down in front of the fireplace. Obviously, you don't want to turn the fireplace on. In this case here, it's going to be an electrical fireplace, but if you had a gas fireplace, you don't want that to come on. But what it does is you can grab your TV, and this piece of zip is just illustrating, you know, a large 80-inch TV. But I can pull that down and pull it in front and get it a little bit more ergonomically correct. And if I'm sitting over there at the desk, I can turn it, or I can turn it to my favorite chair, and then when I'm done, it'll retract and go back up into its space. So mantle mount, go check them out. All right, so we talked a little bit about the air tightness here. Yes, 0.05. Just keep reiterating it, but how do you get there? Well, you want to build the red line test, but you also want to keep that box as simple as possible. So if we look at the house here, we have our red line is underneath the slab, or is the slab. It gets connected to our plate, which gets connected to our zip R sheathing. That goes up, that connects to our zip sheathing on the roof, and that goes up to the vertical wall across the ceiling, zip on the inside, and then down the other side, back down to the slab. So it's a real simple red line test. But what it does is it gives us the byproduct of spaces. Notice that triangular space here, and we have a twin on the other side. That allows us to put HVAC systems, ERV systems, ventilation systems, run piping, venting, etc. inside that space as an attic space there. So, red line test, condition spaces as attic spaces. All right, so as we look down our light monitor, you can see we're pretty wide at the top, but as it comes down to the single story walls, those move in. And the reason they move in is because all of these adjacent rooms, we wanted them to benefit from the light that comes in that clear story, as well as take advantage of distribution from the HVAC and ventilation systems by primarily making the spaces underneath that triangular space accessible to the main space. So if you take a quick walk over here with me and we poke our head inside right here, you'll notice as you look up, you can see from this mudroom space, you can see into that light monitor, and you will get the benefit of that light coming down into the space that I get out in this space. So yes, it's a fully accessible system in terms of heating, cooling, and ventilation distribution. All right, so we talked about those triangular spaces in there, HVAC systems. Well, we get really good distribution, but now we have to get the return air. So look at this beautiful detail that Dayton and his team put together. That'll get a return grill. They'll paint the whole thing up black. That'll get a return grill, but that's basically our return system. We have one on the front here, or down on this side, and we have one towards the front for that system over there. And so our return grills are up there, taking some of that warmer air, putting it back into the system to be distributed down low. So beautiful little detail there for our return air. So if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, smash that subscribe button. Go tell all your friends, hey, you gotta go down there and check out the video, Moonshiner's Dream, right? You wanna see what it's all about. So until next time, I'm Steve Baczek, architect. Long live our buildings.